going to talk about my 10 favorite songs from TOTO. There's going to be timestamps in the description so you can navigate through the video that way if you'd like. And I also have playlists where I've done top 10 song videos for other artists you can check out. So TOTO is my second favorite band of all time after Rush. They're amazing. If you don't know TOTO songs, you definitely have heard the guys in TOTO play in other songs. These guys were formed in the 70s, but they're also very well known for playing as session musicians for people like Michael Jackson, the Bee Gees, if you need a hired gun, if you're Ringo Starr, if you need somebody to fill in when you're The Who, if you're Judas Priest, these are the guys that rely on the guys in TOTO. Steely Dan, another super famous one who've played with members from TOTO. The original members were Steve Lukather on guitar, David Paich on keyboard. Those guys have been in the band the whole time. You have the Porcaro brothers, our three founding members, and Steve, Jeff, and Mike. The three different guys play, I may not have said their names in order right, but it's keyboard, bass, and drums. And then you have Bobby Kimball, the original vocalist. So members have kind of come and gone throughout the years due to maybe, unfortunately, illness or death, or somebody has left at times and come back, or somebody's just out of the band. When somebody else comes in, whether it's a replacement member that's an actual member, or if it's just a touring person, they always get the best of the best. They've had people on bass like Nathan East and Leland Sklar, both who have played with the best of the best. They've had people on drums like Simon Phillips. They've had people on keys like Greg Philanganis. These are all names of just the best hired gun musicians that you can get that are out there. So in 1978 is when they released their first album, and they have released 15 albums. There's been something like 7-ish live albums, been something like 60 singles. And with all that music, the most recent album was from a couple years ago. It actually had Skrillex on it. So, I mean, they're still making stuff for the most part. They made the soundtrack to the original Dune movie. So the Dune movies that are out now are pretty popular, but there was a Dune movie that was made like 30 some years ago. That was the original Dune based on the book. And they made the soundtrack to that. They've had different eras of the band, kind of pretty much based on the different members. Again, people have left and come back. People have left and been gone forever. They've had larger versions of the band. They've had smaller, stripped down versions of the bands. And some of the albums and some of the stuff they do live kind of reflects who's in the band at the time. Falling in Between from 2006. This is the title track to their 13th album. This song kind of marks a little bit of an end of one of the eras, one of the later eras in TOTO. You had vocals in this from Bobby Kimball and Greg Philanganis. This is the only kind of time of the band when Greg Philanganis was in the band. The song has super awesome heavy synth that he's doing along with him sharing the vocal. This is when Bobby Kimball, the original vocalist who left, came back. This is the last album with him. This song has a very heavy, almost reminds me of like progressive rock Dream Theater vibe. That's what I like a lot about it. It's also the last album with Mike Porcaro on it. Last album with Simon Phillips playing drums. So there was just something cool about this album. And this song, to me, the heaviness, the progressive kind of elements of it, the synth stuff from Greg Philanganis, all of that I think make it a really cool and really overlooked TOTO song and album. The Other End of Time from 1995 from Tambu. This song has Steve Lukather singing the lead vocal and singing the main vocal pretty much the whole time. He's not really sharing it much with anybody else. This song was not a single in the US. I think it may have been a single in other parts of the world. It's a soft rock, sad love song. Even though it has Steve Lukather singing the lead, he is playing guitar, but the piano is kind of featured the most. There is very cool, very tasty guitar stuff, as there is in almost every TOTO song, but I would say the main instrument outside of the vocal is the piano. The vocal really shines in this. It's got a really, really cool melody in the chorus. That's my favorite part about it, is the chorus melody. And Luke's belting it out the way he sings. That's my favorite part of this song. Could This Be Love from 1986, released on Fahrenheit. This had Joseph Williams singing lead. This was the first album that he was the singer on. This, to me, always had a very powerful, emotional vocal performance from him. This was an album track. I don't believe it was released on a single in the US or anywhere else in the world. This song had kind of a world beat vibe to me a little bit with the drums and the percussion. The drums sound huge. This snare in this song sounds so awesome, so big, so unique. Something about just the snare drum alone makes this one of my favorite TOTO songs. The rhythm section, it's kind of changing the rhythm throughout. It breathes, it fits well, Just the rhythm songwriting to this is amazing to me. I love all the different parts of it, but it's a song where the drums, I hear those drums, especially the snare in this, and it makes me love the song. Endless from 1985, released on Isolation. This was a single in the UK, and it's the time when they had Fergie Fredrickson, who was not in the band very long, as the lead vocalist. It has a very, very dancey pop, almost like 80s Madonna, Paula Abdul vibe. I like Paula Abdul, I like Madonna, so this is why I like this song maybe. I like lyrically, there's something very cool. The song's called Endless, and the choruses start with the word endless and they end with the word endless. If you read like the whole chorus, like the whole thing written out, almost like poetry, it's like the first thing and the last thing, they both have endless. I think that's pretty cool. But just the poppy, dancey nature of this song, as well as the vocal performance from Fergie, I thought was pretty cool. It's a unique Toto song. I'm a sucker for kind of disco-y, funky, poppy, kind of goofy songs. This isn't a very serious Toto song, but I love it. Pamela on the seventh one, released in 1988. There's so many things I like about this song. It was the first single from this album. I think it reached like number 22 in the US, which is a good thing for Toto. It was written collaboratively from David Paich and Joseph Williams, who sings the lead on it. But they wrote the parts like independently, like for the song that was going to be a separate song each. And then when they got together, I think is how it came together. So it's kind of meant to be, I think. It's a staple in their more live performances. The last few times I've seen them live, they've always played this. There's this like pace to it that makes you kind of want to move. Think like the Saturday Night Live, the What Is Love, when they're doing the head nodding. That's this song to me. It makes me want to move when I hear it. There's this group vocal when they're screaming the Pamela, Pamela. They're all kind of doing it together. Sounds so good. I like that part in the hook. I like the brassy kind of artificial brass keyboard parts. To me, sound really cool. There's real brass instruments in it too. Luke has some super tasty guitar licks like he always does. They sing the part, "It may not heal this time." Oh, I love that. I love the super shreddy guitar solo. I love the extended outro. As much as I love this song, it's not even, I don't think, top 5 yet, is it? And that just means there's so many more Toto bangers to come. Rosanna from 1982, released on Toto 4. Huge, huge hit for Toto. This has both Bobby Kimball, the original vocalist, lead vocalist, and Steve Lukather both kind of sharing the lead. It was nominated for Song of the Year. I think it only got to number 2, but like Eye of the Tiger, I think at the time was number 1. The drum intro is a shuffle. It's so iconic. It's known as the Picaro Shuffle. It has its own name in the music world for drummers. It's got a really cool brass section, super iconic keyboard part, super iconic guitar solos. One of the top 3 songs from Toto. If you played Family Feud, Rosanna is going to be 1, 2, or 3. I'm not sure which one, but it's going to be up there for sure. I Will Remember from 1995 from Tambu. I did another song from Tambu earlier that has a similar kind of vibe to this, but obviously I like this one better. This also has Steve Lukather singing the lead. This was not really a hit, I don't believe, in the US, but I believe this was a really big hit in the UK. This has a really amazing drum pattern with really the tom drums from Simon Phillips. This is an iconic, I think, Simon Phillips drumming song. The drums are part of what make me love this song a lot. It's another from this era of Toto, kind of sad love song, pulls at your heartstrings, has a great melody. You can hum the melody. The melody actually is kind of hummed a little bit as part of the vocal from the background singers. But the vocal specifically and how heartfelt Steve's singing, and then the drum pattern that Simon Phillips has, those are the 2 things that I love the most about this song. Hold the Line from Toto's first record, released in 1978. So Hold the Line, iconic Toto song. One of the most iconic piano intros that hits. The way the guitar hits with the piano, the guitar sounds so huge. For a song that's almost kind of a funky, I don't know what you'd call it, disco-y pop song without that guitar. What do you call this without that heavy guitar? But then you have that amazing heavy guitar. It sounds so awesome. It's a blistering guitar solo. You didn't really hear blistering guitar solos in arena rock like this, other than maybe from like Neil Schon from Journey was like the only other guy really doing that at this kind of style of music. It just hits so hard. It's like, they captured lightning in a bottle with this song a little bit. And it's my third favorite song from Toto. So just imagine how great number one and two are. English Eyes from 1981, released on Turn Back. This song to me has the most amazing guitar intro, the sound, the tone, what he's playing. It's awesome. I'm a guitar player, and this is my ultimate guitar song from Toto is English Eyes. Other people hear that piano and Hold the Line. I hear the guitar in English Eyes, and that's what I love. So this song was not released on a single. Turn Back, the album it's on, wasn't really a big hit for them. The song is the longest song on this list. It has really cool bridge parts to me. The song comes back in from the bridge and there's this like little drum fill hit. Think like Jack and Diane. There's a, drum fill that comes in that's iconic. This is that to me in Toto. So the song itself has awesome songwriting. It has really cool bridge parts, the music parts in the bridge. They're almost like a little prog rocky, and they're kind of more arty and jazzy. But then you have super awesome Hold the Line style music. So this to me is slightly better than Hold the Line. This is a more artsy rock, proggy version of Hold the Line is how I look at English Eyes. Stop Lovin' You from 1988 on the seventh one. I love this song so much. This is, I think, one of the top 5 songs ever written of all time. There are so many awesome things about this song. So they do it live, and they do it different ways live, and I like all the different ways they do it live, but I like the album version for sure the best. This song is just songwriting perfection to me. It leaves space. You can hear each instrument to me distinctly, what it's doing. What it's doing is perfect. It fits with everything else. There's all these different parts, and they go perfectly together. Perfect intro, perfect verse, perfect pre-chorus, perfect hook, does it all again, perfect bridge, perfect guitar solo, perfect come around out of the bridge with the chorus hook, perfect outro. It has John Anderson from Yes doing a scat in the bridge. It didn't need that. That doesn't make the song great. That's just like bonus. That's just dessert that it has this. This is a great Toto song. I don't know that other people are going to think this belongs in a top 10. They play it live a lot, so I think that Toto likes it. I love it. This may be, to me, the second or third best song ever written of all time. I cannot help but just melt when I hear Stop Lovin' You from Toto. It is amazing.